Shane, when will start fire?
Well, today, right now.
Shiva Navo Varsho.
Yes, good way to start. New year, new Mitchell Starc, at least in KKR colours. Because what a spell from the man. 3 for 28 in 4 overs on a pitch that, in truth be told, was tailor-made for spinners. I think one thing all of us have to admit is that this is definitely not the kind of Eden Garden pitch we were expecting. Not a belter of a track. It did look like that early on. But man alive, the spinners really came to the party. Just look at some of those figures. Varun Chakravarti, 4 overs, 30 runs, 1 wicket. Sunil Narine, 4 overs, 17 runs, 1 wicket, 17 runs. That's an economy of 4.2. Yikes. So this is a very, very tough track.
So in 48 balls that the two of them bowled, they conceded 47 runs.
And took 2 wickets.
Or if you want to include your gun pacer in it, a total of just in 12 overs, 75 runs.
And 12 6 are 72. That means 75 of 72 runs.
6.25 economy.
That's
6.25.
So because of the exploits of Starc, Narine, LSG have been restricted to 161 for 7. But the question is
161 enough?
Nah, that is so we will see it. But I want to see it. Ask these guys whether Lucknow batted poorly or did the pitch make them look.
Can I be honest? I think it was a bit of both. I don't think it was the easiest pitch because even in the power play, I did see Harshit, I think in his final over, in the final power play over, his first over, bowl a couple of slow ones, and it did look like it was stopping on the batter, which meant already, I mean in the 6th over, if it's doing that, it's only going to get progressively worse. But then you had KL Rahul and Ayush Badoni in the middle overs. Now I'm taking nothing away from either of them, but with KL we do know sometimes he can get tied down with spin. And that's exactly what happened. Just to give you a figure, by the way, overs 7 to 10, that's 4 overs, they didn't get a single boundary. When did the boundary come? When Andre Russell came on to bowl the 11th over. That's it. That's when the first boundary came after the power play, which means they were really tied down. And again, I'm taking nothing away from any batter, but even later on, some of Pooran's boundaries, I think 2 4s that he got were both mishits. Both mishits. The 6s he hit, he looked very assured, but both the 4s and both came off Harshit Rana. Very, very scratchy. It was a case of Harshit taking a lot of pace off the ball, him struggling to read it, and on a slightly
and not bowling
ground.
to the field.
And on a slightly, no, he was. There were times when it was flying over there to the fielder. What's the fielder going to do? 68-meter boundary.
You got to feel, especially for the pace bowlers here, because again, this was not a surface easy to bowl on. Secondly, the ground dimensions. Couple of those hits, by the way, the batter, especially Nicholas Pooran, was extremely lucky. Any other ground, it would have been out. The only other ground this would have gone for a 6 was probably the Pirojsha Kotla in Delhi.
It is just
otherwise,
60
those
meters.
Grounds, I think it's even lesser.
See, your third man fine leg boundaries are 60 meters.
Yeah, those are very small boundaries. That's the one where Pooran got a couple of 6s also, where every time, and all of us are watching upstairs and we're thinking, he's getting caught now. But no, it's just clearing. 7 meters difference. It's brutal on the bowlers.
Those times we thought, okay, he's holed out.
Yeah.
He's holding out only to the people in the stands.
But just to give you an example, okay. Today, Nicholas Pooran had a strike rate of 140. KL Rahul had a strike rate of 144.
Those were your best. I mean, I'm not counting Stoinis because he only played 5 balls.
Again, very, very susceptible to spin.
Just to add to Shane's point, as you asked, it was pitch and batsman both. You know, the star batters failing in Stoinis, in
De
Kock. KL Rahul also. At one time, it looked like the KL and Badoni had a good partnership and they will accelerate, but they never accelerated.
Yeah.
Stoinis came. No, if KL is batting on one end, you need someone from the other end to accelerate. But no one did it. Except Pooran, lower down the order, he got that, as Harshit said, a few boundaries, that was edge and everything. That's why he has scored 45, got those 4 6s, 2
4s.
Can I add, by the way, I think LSG missed a trick by batting Pooran down this low down the order. Today, of all days, you needed to do with him what CSK often do with Shivam Dube, which is when you know the spinners are operating, if you lose a wicket, get him on. In fact, look when was the 3rd wicket lost? It was in the 11th over, and at that point, Narine and Varun were very much operating in tandem. If you had to send Pooran there, and if he could get an early counter attack against KKR spinners, you could have potentially been looking at 175, 180. But they didn't do it. They stuck to their batting order and they saved Pooran. Pooran is batting at number 6. They saved him for the death. And okay, you can say 45 of 32, he did his job. But I think he would have been much better off murdering the spinners.
The one thing can I tell you, see, yes, on the outside it may look like a good thing from an Indian perspective that two Indian batters, in Deepak Hooda and Ayush Badoni, one of them relatively younger as well, got a chance to play in the top order. But what that does is it takes away enough game time from a Nicholas Pooran and a Marcus Stoinis as well, might I add. Because yes, you slotted them at number 3 and 4. But as a result, see what's happened. You've only got so many deliveries for both of them to play as a result.
Look at the numbers, look at the figures.
Pooran had to be coming in ahead of a Stoinis also. That's also some a place where they
exactly. And if you look at the numbers which of Hooda and Badoni, that's 10 plus 27, 37, 29 plus 8, 30. 37 or 37 means they were operating at a strike rate of 100 against the spinners. The spinners really tied them down.
I think that's because of the wicket. It was assisting the spinners.
This is something
play.
I understand why they've done this because the whole of last year and a few games this year as well. What have you realized with both Deepak Hooda and Ayush Badoni that you cannot be batting them 6-7. You were having Devdutt Patikal bat at number 3, 4, 5, 6 again was the same like you saw.
Model order.
But what do you do then? You can only have one of them play there. You cannot have both play at the top. So this is again a problem that they'll have to work around. Maybe just the one of them gets to bat at number 3 in the absence of Patikal and the other may just have to continue batting lower down the order so that you're able to get the best out of Stoinis and Pooran.
I'll add another thing. When they brought in a Hooda, my problem with that same thing was again, you're continuing the model order. Hooda, Badoni, Stoinis, Pooran. All of them are there 4 batters who should be batting 3, 4, 5. But you have 4 batters. So one of them is definitely going to be batting out of position. In this case, your best batter is Nicholas Pooran. And that's the thing, when people kept saying that, if you want to drop Patikal, you have a Hooda. I said, no, you need to be bringing in Krishnappa Gautam because he has that ability to bat lower down the order and can give you a couple of overs of spin. I don't think they've used Hooda the bowler since 2022. So, okay, even if you don't want to use Gautam the bowler, I'm fine with that. But he's far more adept at batting lower down.
And I don't understand what is it with franchises not trusting Krishnappa Gautam enough. It's been happening for...
It happened with CSK, it happened with LSG.
It's happening since 2020 now. Ever since the man got what, a 9 crore
9 crore for CSK, I know.
9 crore paycheck, that was the highest for an uncapped player back then.
As I said, anybody who goes to CSK, most of them their careers where they warm the bench and they don't do well outside.
Understood, okay, that year the tournament got shifted later on and I think the word that went inside was that we got you thinking that the sluggish wicket in Chepauk will suit you much more and not let's say the surfaces in Abu Dhabi.
But Abu Dhabi and UAE surfaces were also sluggish.
But whatever it is, that was the logic that they had given back then. That okay, he's going to be that Chepauk specialist for us.
That was a flawed logic if you ask me.
But I'll tell you, there might be one more reason why they did not want to promote Nicholas Pooran up today. Because whatever they may have tried, they just were not able to counter Sunil Narine.
But that is why you wanted a Pooran.
But
your best player of spin.
If you look at Pooran, the way how he played...
he was scratchy in the beginning.
So that is why, suppose if he had played him earlier, he played only very few deliveries. But then if he had played about 12, 13 deliveries, he may have gotten bogged down and your best batter could have been out under pressure also. Whatever you tried today, Narine was vintage Narine.
17 runs conceded, 1 wicket.
I mean, there is a reason why I count Sunil Narine as one of the key reasons why KKR are KKR.
Correct.
He can defend,
for me, yeah.
He can bowl a super over, he can bowl the final over and defend 10 or 9. He can bat like this. KKR's upswing began when Sunil Narine came along with Andre Russell to form the dynamic duo.
In fact, Russell came later on because 2012 was the auction year that he brought in Narine after his exploits in the CL T20 for Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
There were 2 superstars that year who came out of Trinidad and Tobago. One was Sunil Narine, the other Kieron Pollard.
And I'll add a third one. The one who really made himself the great. Dwayne Bravo.
Yeah. But Bravo at that time was already an established international.
Yeah.
I'm not counting Bravo for that reason. Pollard and Narine were 2 players. I mean, this isn't back in that era. I remember Pollard in one game got 54 of 18 balls.
Against New South Wales.
Correct. 300 strike rate balls in those days. It was crazy. And plus, he could bowl you 2-3 overs at that point.
And I remember Narine, I think he was touted for great things. When he clean bowled Sachin Tendulkar through the gate at Wankhede.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one delivery. And I felt, oh, this guy is...
There's something about him.
2012 season, when we won the first title, his economy, if I'm not wrong, was less
under
than
6. Yeah, under 6 and got to 20 wickets.
He only smacked for 40 runs in final.
Yes.
For 10 in final only. And that even after that only his economy was less than 6 the whole season.
Exactly, and 20
But-
odd wickets.
But 12 years later, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
It's still the same economy.
I mean, his action has changed a lot.
His last
which I
couple of-
thought was really unfair.
It was.
last couple of years were quite scratchy, not up to the
Yeah.
mark. But now, as we are looking as of now in the 5th game, he's looking as best as
I
ever.
think batting up the order really gets the best out of Sunil Narine. and
Gambhir is
other
back,
facets
no?
as well.
Gambhir.
Yeah.
Gambhir, that's the Gambhir effect.
Gambhir is back.
Other
and-
facets as well. Really
Because
helps him.
those two had an interaction when Gambhir came back to KKR. Sunil was really happy.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that
Sunny.
Sunil Narine smiles or is.
Yeah, Sunny is happy.
Yeah.
because-
The only other time I saw Sunil Narine smile was when he was interviewed by Sunil Gavaskar. And Gavaskar very cheekily mentioned that, you've been named, we share the same name. And Narine cracked into a huge smile and said, yeah, well, my father named me after you.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, pre-batting Sunil Narine. This was just the bowler Sunil
His
Narine.
fathers, by the way, played a very instrumental role.
Yeah,
in his life.
Sunil Narine, I remember once spoke about, he's saying that I was trying out for Trinidad and Tobago.
He was about to quit the
Yeah,
sport.
he said I was about to walk behind because I thought I didn't have the ability, and my father just said, "Listen, just keep pushing. You don't know what can
Yes.
happen." And man,
Look at it.
look at him
Yep.
now.
Look at him now, and boy, that 4 overs, 1 for 17, really broke LSG's momentum.
But I'm sorry, today I think if anyone bowler of the match, I'm taking nothing. Bowler of the innings, I'm taking nothing away from how well a Narayan bowled or how well even Chakravarti bowled. Because again, some of those hits were off full tosses or slot balls. Other than that, you couldn't touch the man. But Mitch Starc, man, 3 for 28 on a pitch which is sluggish.
Yep.
Getting 2 wickets in the death, and not just you got the danger man, Nicholas Pooran. Then couple of times, by the way, Arshad Khan, poor guy, was looking clueless against him.
Also,
Clueless.
by the way, if you were to remove those first 2 balls of which he conceded boundaries,
8 runs.
exactly.
He has an economy rate of 6.
Yeah.
3.420.
The other 20 balls that he bowled, 22 balls that he bowled, he gave away
20 runs.
22 runs.
Less than 6, in fact.
That's crazy.
I know.
20 runs.
Yeah.
So he's actually had an upswing today, and I think this is I'll tell you the other problem was that I think they were kind of relying on him to be a death over bowler consistently. He's not someone who can give you 2 overs in
But
the
he
death.
did that today as well.
Only one. He bowled 3 overs in the power play.
Yes.
That was the difference. You need to use him more upfront because again, we know what is the Mitchell Starc specialty. He'll get the ball to move at 145 clicks.
He was trying that today as well.
Uh-huh.
He realized, I think, after that first over, that there's no point trying to go for swing.
There was no
ball.
swing.
Yeah, he tried. You could see that, especially to Quinton de Kock, he was trying to take the ball away from him.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite happen.
See, he likes Calcutta because even in the World Cup semi-final, that was the start of Stark's upswing.
Yeah, I remember.
And you remember the lengths he bowled in that World Cup final? Same lengths, cross seam, variation in pace. That extra bounce that got him his first wicket. I mean, there was a bit of extra bounce from the wicket. So,
But since
He-
action's about to begin now, sorry to cut you short, sir,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there are questions as well which we won't be able to take. But since the first ball is about to be bowled, do we think? Let's answer that question. Do we think that Lucknow have enough runs on the board?
See,
to make match
it's
out
a
of it?
tricky chase. I think it'll be a tricky chase.
it won't be an easy chase.
Yeah, it won't be an easy
Anyone
chase.
changing?
The one guy who predicted LSG is not here. We all had, it was a full house, KKR.
Actually, so yeah, as things stand, it's a
Few days
KKR
back,
full house.
Lucknow have defended 165, but I think today it's not happening. It would be difficult to defend.
See, also you have to remember that Lucknow pitch was, I think, far more difficult.
Yes.
This, I think, there is enough runs there once you get set, but I think LSG batters made it look a little tough.
No, you have batting depth until number 9 here.
That also helps. I think the power play will be key. If they can get off to an explosive start or
Yeah.
get about say 60 odd runs in the power play, then I think they'd back themselves to kind of get through the rest. And
And I think Lucknow have already made a blunder, getting in an Arshad Khan.
that
That
doesn't
was
make
not
sense.
on.
You
For
got
five balls.
2 left-handers, you got 2
5
left-arm pacers.
If there's one thing you should.
and you don't have a less spinner now. Manimaran Siddharth on this kind of a track could have been troublesome.
Yes.
He was getting late swing for a spinner.
Getting some drift as well.
Yeah. No, drift is reserved for Naveen. Naveen gets drift. Manimaran Siddharth gets
No,
his swing.
I remember the first over that he bowled.
Yeah.
My sarcasm. Also, by the way, and in hindsight, we'll talk about this more after the result of the match. But really, was this the game to bench Naveen? I don't think he had a niggle. He looked perfectly fit.
It's fit, it's perfect for cutters.
Exactly.
Why did Naveen ul Haq just not start? That's
This
the
kind
thing.
of a pitch, I
So,
think it's perfect for
your
him.
bowling options are Krunal, Bishnoi,
Shamar.
Shamar. On this wicket, a Shamar pace.
Yeah, starting the attack. I think Shamar is starting.
Yeah, he's in fact bowling the first over.
Yeah.
Yep. But why?
We can't seem to see the TV for whatever reason.
I know. Shamar Joseph, Gaba Ka Ghaman Part 2. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see, obviously they'll start with the pacer, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, but
in terms of spin bowling, who all do they have? They've got a Bishnoi
And a
there.
Krunal.
That's
They've
it.
got a Krunal and
Huda,
Huda,
a couple of overs.
or Badoni, who they've never bowled, if memory
Which
serves
is
me right.
actually, in the absence of a Naveen Ulha, can you have an Arshad who you don't? Again, seaming conditions, Arshad's good, and you know about that
Yeah.
facet of his game. But how good is he in these conditions? That is something. It doesn't quite make for a good reading as far as that bowling attack is concerned. But anyhow,
So I think no one's
we're
changing
all
predictions.
sticking to
Yeah.
our predictions. In case you missed out on the pre-show, it all gone in for a KKR win.
And Nikhil only went for LSG because there was no one else backing them. No one else except Shivam, that is.
Let's ask Shivam, our in-house LSG supporter, do you think the team has done enough to win this match?
That's all.
Not enough total?
I see it can
That's
get
what
tricky
we
if they
announced.
get a couple of early wickets. But if KKR can hold fort,
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a chance are you giving your team?
Maybe 4.
4.
it'll take
40% chance.
it'll take something. I think LSU need to pull out something special today.
Yeah.
A CSK like collapse.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we'll be back for the match end, but at the same time, you're also having the toss of the second game between
We'll give you
MI
guys
and
an update,
CSK.
but an elaborate discussion of
Yeah.
what happens here over the next 90 minutes.
Sunil Narane's got up to mark with the boundary.
at
Shock horror.
the Eden Garden. So we'll see you guys when the match ends, and also give an update about the big match coming up in the evening.
A
as
Classico.
well. Don't worry.
The greatest rivalry.
Yeah. Mumbai versus Chennai.
Yes. So boundary by Sunil Narine. Bye bye.
See you.
Alright, see you later.